Hello students, this is Dr. Thompson and I'm here to talk about the generalization specialization in your Campus Eats database. If you look at the business rules, we have a person, and persons can be faculty, staff, or students. This is one interpretation. And a person can be, say, a student and a faculty member, or a student and a staff member. If you interpret the business rules that way, you can alter the business rules to fit your own database interpretation. And only students are drivers in this implementation. So here is the entity relationship diagram, and you can see a person can be a faculty member. Person has a primary key of person ID. Faculty has a primary key of faculty ID, but guess what? That's really the person ID. Here we've got person can be a student, and once again, the student ID is actually the person ID. It's both the primary key for student and the foreign key, which goes back to person ID. And then staff, the same thing. The staff ID is still the person ID. It's the primary key for person, and it's the foreign key that goes back to the person ID. Notice that these are all one-to-one relationships. They're optional. So if they're all three optional, that means we could have a person that's not a student, faculty, or staff. There's another interpretation of the business rules that says a person has to be a student, faculty, or staff, in which case that would be one-to-one. This looks a little different depending on how you interpret it. And here we've got a student. A student can be a driver. Not all students are drivers. We can see that's optional, but some students are drivers. And so as we use joins on these tables, so if I say select person name, person email, faculty title, faculty degree, college, highest degree, from person faculty, where person.person ID equals faculty.faculty ID, that will give me the information that is joined from person to faculty that's in common. So in that way we can get all of the information joined together with our SQL statements. And again, the faculty ID is both a primary and a foreign key. Student ID, primary and foreign key. Staff ID is primary and foreign key. And so let's go ahead and see what the SQL looks like. If I go, and by the way, if you have an entity relationship diagram, if you build it here, a couple of things you can do. If I right mouse click on the relationship, I can go to edit relationship, and I can go here and make some changes, or I can go to the foreign key and change that from one to one to one to many. Sometimes it will automatically default to one to many, and you'll need to change it to one to one. You can also, if you go to each, let's go ahead and close this. If you go to each table, there we go. You can do the same thing. If you right mouse click, you can edit the table in the same way, and you can even build your tables in this way if you want. Okay, another thing you can do is you can actually go to Database Forward Engineer, and what that will do is that will take you through the process of making all the create statements for these tables. So if I click on Forward Engineer, I'll click on Next. And you can even generate the insert statements for the tables. You can drop objects for each create object. Usually I take the defaults here. Click on Next. Have to enter the password. I'll click on OK. And then click on Next. And then it'll go ahead and build the script that you can copy and paste, copy to the clipboard and run, and it will build all your tables for you. So that's pretty cool. I've already done that. Let's go to here, the campus food delivery. I'm going to give you this script, and this will build the database. And then what you can do when you open up this script, you can run it, or you can select all and then execute, and it will rebuild the database. Once that rebuilds the database, you'll come over to your schemas, refresh those, and here's the Campus Eats, and you'll see your tables, and you can examine those. For example, hello, I've got my cat here wanting to say hello. If I double click on the person table, I can go over and click here and see a select star from campuseats.person. Notice the person IDs. I've got 1, 2, 3, 26, 27, 28, 39, 46, 47, 48. Let's go to the faculty table. I'm going to open that one up. Here's my faculty table. Notice the faculty ID is 1, 2, 3. So what that means is person IDs 1, 2, and 3 are faculty members. See how that works? Let's go to the, what do we want to go next? Staff table. I'm going to open that up. And the staff table, notice the staff ID is 26, 27, and 28. Notice 27 is a lab assistant. That might be a student also. They can be two of these things because this is overlapping. And so I've got 26, 27, 28. And look at this. There's 26, 27, 28. They have to match up or you'll have a foreign key violation. So Eden Showalter is the one I want you to watch for. Let's go to student. And my students are 27, 39, 47, and 48. And notice that that 27 is both a staff member and a student. And drivers have to be students. And so I've only got two drivers, 47 and 27. And what that means is that only these two, 47 and 27, are drivers. And you can look in the SQL statement and see how that's constructed to make all of this happen. That SQL script, I'm giving this to you. Again, you'll run this. If you want to build the model from the script, after you build the script, you can go to Database, Reverse Engineer, and this reverse engineers from the database to create the model. Click on OK. Click on Next. Be careful here. You want to make sure you select it sometimes likes to select other databases. You probably just have this one. Click on Next. Click on Next. Execute. And it builds the model. It'll be kind of a mess. You have to move it around. Now, one thing about this model, though, I will say, MySQL does not like one-to-one relationships. And so if you want to make this accurate, see how that's from student to person, it's one-to-one. From person back to student, it's one-to-many. If you want to make this accurate, you're going to want to right mouse click on that relationship, go to Edit Relationship, click on Foreign Key, and change it to one-to-one. All right, but I've already got my model, so I really don't need this one built too. I've got it here. And I've actually saved this as a model diagram that you can import also. All right, so what you should do is open up. I don't know why it's got that mistake. That shouldn't be there. Let me get that out. This will be ready to run. We'll save this for you. You can just open this up, copy and paste it into the MySQL Workbench and execute and refresh your schema, and you will have this part of the database. What you can do, now notice that this is already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables. You can just add, if you want to add some deliveries to this, just add a little bit extra. You'll have a good part of your database done. All right, that's it for right now. Hope you enjoyed this session.